my beloved, lean in right now. Because this moment is not an accident, not background noise, not another passing sound in your crowded day. This is a divine interruption wrapped in mercy. And I am speaking straight to the deepest place inside you. Past your thoughts, past your doubts, past the walls you built to survive. Because heaven has marked this second as sacred and your heart knows it. That pull you feel, that pause you can't explain, that sudden stillness pressing against your spirit. That is not coincidence. That is calling. And I need you to understand the weight and the wonder of what is happening right now. Because this is not casual. This is not random. This is rescue moving toward you with holy urgency. And I am not whispering from a distance. I am near, closer than your breath, closer than your fears, closer than the memories that keep you up at night. And I am speaking because time around this moment is thin. Because there are seasons in a life that carry more eternal weight than others. And you have stepped into one of them. A doorway moment. A turning point wrapped in tenderness, but edged with urgency. And if you slow down long enough to truly hear, you will realize this is the answer you asked for on nights when you felt forgotten. This is the sign you begged for when you said, God, please show me you still see me. This is the response to tears you thought fell into silence, because not one of them was lost. Not one ache was ignored. Not one sigh escaped. My notice, I have watched you when you felt invisible. I have stayed when others walked away. I've listened to prayers you didn't even have the strength to finish. And now I am drawing close not to condemn you, not to shame you, but to wake you up before a moment passes that was designed for your breakthrough. Because you are standing at the edge of change you cannot yet see, blessing you cannot yet hold, freedom you have almost stopped believing in, and the enemy of your soul has worked overtime to keep you distracted, tired, numb, scrolling, busy, anything but still. Because stillness is where you hear me clearly, and clarity is what breaks chains. So right now, this is a holy pause, a sacred breath between what has been and what can be, and I am asking you to stay. Not with pressure, but with purpose, because when you choose to stay with my voice instead of running back to noise, something shifts in the unseen. Patterns that have followed you begin to crack. Lies you believed about yourself begin to lose their grip, and the heavy fog that has surrounded your thinking starts to thin. Not because you are strong, but because you are finally still enough to let me be strong for you. And I know you are tired. Tired of trying. Tired of hoping. Tired of starting over. Tired of pretending you're fine when you are barely holding yourself together. I know the private battles, the secret guilt, the quiet shame, the why am I like this questions you never say out loud, and still I call you loved, still I call you chosen, still I call you mine, not because of your performance, not because you got everything right, but because my love was never built on your perfection. It was built on my promise, and my promise has not changed. Even when you wandered, even when you doubted, even when you tried to carry your life without me and ended up exhausted, I did not walk away. I waited. I guarded. I worked behind the scenes of your understanding, turning delays into preparation, turning closed doors into protection, turning heartbreak into soil where compassion could grow. You thought some seasons were punishment, but they were training. You thought silence meant absence, but it was construction, deep, careful, eternal work in places you could not see. And now you are at a moment where all those hidden seasons are about to connect. But connection requires surrender. And surrender is what your flesh resists but your spirit aches for, because deep down, you know control has not given you peace. Worry has not secured your future, and self-reliance has not healed your heart. So I am inviting you into the exchange you have been avoiding. My peace for your panic, my direction for your confusion, my strength for your constant strain. But this exchange happens in trust, and trust looks like letting me lead, even when you do not understand the map. It looks like obeying the gentle nudge you keep ignoring, forgiving when you want to harden, resting when you want to strive, turning to me first instead of last. And I am not asking for a flawless life. I am asking for a yielded heart, the kind that says, I don't get it all, but I choose you anyway. Because that choice made in weakness releases power you cannot manufacture. Power to break cycles that have run in your family for years. Power to silence the voice in your head that says you will never change. Power to step into purpose you have been circling but never entering. And I need you to see that the urgency in my voice is love refusing to stay quiet while you drift towards smaller living than you were created for. Love that shouts before fire spreads. Love that reaches before the fall. Love that would rather risk offending your comfort than lose you to delay, because delay has stolen enough from you already. Years you spent doubting. Relationships shaped by fear. Opportunities missed because you didn't think you were ready. And I am saying the season of hesitation is ending. Not with fear, but with invitation. Because heaven is ready to move in your life in ways that will not make sense to your old mindset, but will make perfect sense to your surrendered heart. And you are not disqualified by your past. You are qualified by my grace. The scars you carry are not proof of failure. They are proof you survived what should have broken you. And I will use those very scars as doors where my light shines through. You see weakness. I see openings. You see mess. I see material for miracles. You see ruins. I see foundation. And I am closer than you think to rebuilding what you assumed was permanently lost. But rebuilding starts with release, laying down the version of control that never worked, laying down the identity built on fear, laying down the need to understand everything before you move, and simply saying in the quiet of your heart, I trust you. Because that whisper spoken sincerely shakes more in the unseen than 1,000 loud performances. And as you lean in, as you soften, as you stop running from my nearness, I begin to pour peace into places anxiety once ruled, clarity into places confusion once screamed, hope into spaces that felt permanently dark. Not all at once like noise, but like sunrise, steady, sure, impossible to stop. And you will look back at this very moment and realize this was the hinge, the shift, the quiet yes that changed the trajectory of your life. So breathe, stay, let my presence settle over your racing thoughts. Let my love reach the parts you hide from everyone else, and receive what you have been striving to earn. Forgiveness that wipes shame clean, mercy that outlasts your mistakes, purpose that outgrows your past. And now, in this stillness, I cover you in peace that does not depend on circumstances. I break the authority of fear over your mind. I loosen the grip of old patterns. I call your heart back to life, and I seal you in a love that will not let you go. And as you rest here, know this is not the end of something. This is the beginning. And I am with you, leading, guarding, restoring, and carrying you into a future you do not have to force, only follow. And as you remain here in this sacred stillness, something deeper begins to unfold beneath the surface of your awareness. something ancient and holy that has been waiting for your attention. Because you have spent so long surviving that you forgot what it feels like to be held, and I am drawing you past survival into surrender, past striving into trust, past noise into knowing. Because the life you have been trying to build in your own strength has left you weary, and weariness is not your destiny. Closeness is, union is, walking with me instead of running ahead of me is, and I am not disappointed in how long it took you to get here. I am moved that you are here now, that despite the doubt, despite the distractions, despite the voices that told you this was foolish or emotional or unnecessary, you are still listening. And listening is the doorway to transformation, because when you truly hear me, you begin to see yourself differently, not as the sum of your mistakes, not as the label someone placed on you in a moment of anger, not as the failure your mind replays at night, but as someone handcrafted with intention, someone whose story is still being written, someone whose worst chapters will not have the final word. And I know you carry memories that still sting, conversations you replay, wishing you had said something else, choices you would undo if you could, and the weight of those memories has shaped how you see your future. But I am not limited by what has been. I step into broken timelines and rewrite outcomes. I take what looked final and turn it into foundation. And the pain you thought disqualified you is the very place I will display grace so clearly that others will find hope through your story. You thought your breakdowns were proof you were too weak, but they were moments when your defenses cracked enough for my light to get in. You thought the nights you cried alone meant you were abandoned, but those were nights I was closest, when heaven leaned in and angels stood guard, and your tears became prayers too deep for words. And I need you to understand that your sensitivity, the very thing you tried to shut down so you wouldn't hurt as much, is not a flaw. It is a doorway. It is how you love deeply, how you feel compassion, how you connect. And I want to heal it, not harden it, because a hardened heart may feel safer, but it cannot receive joy the way a healed one can. And I am healing you not just so you can survive life, but so you can actually live it, actually experience peace that is not fragile, joy that is not fake, confidence that is not loud but rooted. And this healing will not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it will feel like small shifts, like choosing not to believe the worst about yourself for one day, like pausing before reacting, like sensing my nudge to forgive when your pride wants to stay offended. And those small obediences are seeds, and seeds grow into forests over time. Do not despise the small beginnings, because heaven celebrates them. Every time you turn your heart back toward me instead of toward old coping patterns, something in the spirit realm realigns, and chains that seemed permanent weaken link by link, and you may not see it instantly, but you will feel it in a lighter chest, in quieter thoughts, in a hope that rises without you forcing it. And when fear tries to come back like it always has, you will notice it does not fit the same way, because truth has started to take up space where lies used to live. And I am not rushing you, but I am leading you step by step out of the identity built in pain and into the identity anchored in love. And there will be moments you want to go back to what is familiar, even if it hurt, because familiar feels safe. But I will gently call you forward again and again, not with shame, but with invitation, reminding you that you were not created to circle the same mountain forever. You were created to grow, to heal, to become, And as you keep turning toward me in these moments, I will begin to trust you with more clarity about your purpose, more peace in decisions that used to paralyze you, more courage to step into opportunities you once would have avoided. And you will look back and realize the greatest miracle was not just what changed around you, but what changed within you. The way you no longer crumble at the first sign of trouble, the way you recover faster, the way you talk to yourself with more grace, the way you sense my presence in ordinary moments, in morning light, in quiet drives, in the middle of conversations. And you will know this is relationship, not religion, closeness, not performance. Walking with me, not just talking about me. And from this place, fruit begins to grow naturally. Love that spills onto others, patience that surprises you, wisdom that comes at the right time, and your life, which once felt like a series of random struggles, begins to carry a thread of meaning you can trace. And even when storms come, because they will, you will not face them the same way. You will not feel as alone. You will not interpret every hardship as rejection. You will begin to ask, what are you teaching me here? Instead of, why is this happening to me? And that shift alone will carry you through things that once would have crushed you, because you will know I am with you in it, shaping, guarding, guiding, and nothing will be wasted. Not your past, not your pain, not even your delays. And as you continue to sit with me, to return to this quiet place where my voice becomes clearer than the noise, your life will slowly but surely come into alignment with the design I had in mind from the beginning. And you will realize you were never too far gone, never too late, never too broken. You were simply in process, and I am faithful to finish what I start. So stay close, keep listening, keep softening, because this journey we are walking now is not a momentary feeling. It is the beginning of a life led, covered, and transformed by love that does not fail. And now, as everything within you has been softened, as the noise has lowered, and your heart is no longer bracing itself for impact, but resting in this holy nearness, we come to the place where all of this was leading, not to pressure you, not to rush you, but to bring you into alignment with what your soul has been craving long before your mind had words for it. Because every encounter with my presence carries a response, not forced, not manipulated, but invited. And the response is not about performance, it is about position. The position of your heart turned toward me instead of away, open instead of guarded, trusting instead of controlling. And this is where true transformation seals itself, not in emotion alone, but in surrender that says, I am yours, not just in crisis, not just in feeling, but in direction, in identity, in daily life. And I know surrender sounds big, sounds final, sounds like losing something. But what you are losing are chains you got used to wearing, weights you thought were part of you, lies that shaped your limits. And what you are gaining is freedom that fits who you really are, peace that does not vanish when circumstances shift, and a partnership with me that changes how you walk through everything ahead. Because from this point forward, you are not meant to go back to living as if you are alone, making every decision from fear, replaying old stories about your worth. You are stepping into a life lived with me, aware of my nearness, responsive to my guidance, anchored in my love. And this does not mean life becomes easy, but it means you are no longer carrying it by yourself. It means storms do not define you, delays do not destroy you, and mistakes do not end you. Because grace walks with you, wisdom grows in you, and my spirit leads you, correcting, comforting, strengthening. And when you stumble, you will not run in shame the way you used to. You will turn back quickly, knowing my arms are not crossed, they are open, and this confidence in my heart toward you is what breaks the cycle of guilt that kept you distant. Because you will begin to live from acceptance, not for it, and from that place your obedience will no longer feel like pressure. It will feel like alignment, like walking in shoes that finally fit. And the purpose I placed in you will start to surface in ways that feel natural. Conversations where your words carry unexpected depth, compassion that moves you to show up for others, courage to step through doors you once avoided, and you will realize you are becoming an answer to prayers around you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are available. And availability in my hands becomes impact beyond what you can measure. And as you walk forward, there will be moments the old voice tries to return. The one that says you will fail again, that this closeness will fade, that you are still the same, but you will recognize it now. And instead of agreeing, you will answer with truth, that you are being renewed, that you are not who you were, that my work in you is real and ongoing, and that truth will guard your mind. And when you do not feel strong, you will remember strength was never the requirement. Surrender was, and you have already begun. And I am not letting go of you. Not in the high days, not in the low ones, not when you feel close, not when you feel distant. My faithfulness does not rise and fall with your emotions. It is steady, rooted in who I am, and that is why you can move into your future with quiet confidence, not loud arrogance, but deep assurance that you are led, seen, and covered. And now, in this closing moment of this sacred encounter, I am releasing over you peace that settles your racing thoughts, clarity that cuts through confusion, courage that rises where fear once ruled, and a deep awareness that you are loved right here. Not the future version of you, not the polished version, but you as you are. And from this place I seal what has begun, that the seeds planted in this time of stillness will grow, that the healing stirred will continue, that the hunger awakened will draw you back to me again and again. And I bless your coming days with divine alignment, unexpected favor, protected steps, and a heart that recognizes my voice more clearly than ever before. And as you move on from this moment, you do not leave my presence. You carry it, and I walk with you into everything next. And this is not the end. It is the beginning of a life lived close, guided, restored, and held. And you are mine, and I am with you always.